So, ultimately, my verdict. Which one is my SIM card staying in and which one will be my daily driver? Meaning that I will be selling the other one. Well, yes, it's the Samsung S25 Ultra versus the Vivo X200 Pro. As you can hopefully tell, this is one of the most excited I've been for a video. Spending the past 15 hours getting footage and recording all this has just been a pleasure because, as I've mentioned before in videos, we truly are spoilt when it comes to flagship phones. However, this will be the most honest comparison you're going to see online. Without further ado, let's talk battery. Yes, I thought I would start somewhere that the Samsung just hasn't got a chance. In fact, no other flagship smartphone has a chance. As you could see from footage borrowed, thank you Tom, from Tom the Tech Chap, his recent battery drain test showed the Vivo X200 Pro annihilating the competition, not by just a few percentage points. To put in perspective, the S25 Ultra came in the top 4 batteries currently available just now, which is really impressive when you consider it's stuck with the 5,000 milliamp hours. So a lot of people are saying the battery's not big enough. Yeah, that's kind of utter nonsense now when you see that it lasts over 10 hours of screen on time. Now, for context, 10 hours of screen on time just last year would have been the most you would have ever got. Unbelievable, groundbreaking. However, tech advances and battery capacity clearly grows. The X200 Pro managed a quite mind-blowing 13 hours plus of screen on time. The 6,000 milliamp hour battery isn't just huge, it's clearly efficient paired with the chip that we'll talk about in a second. In terms of charging speeds, the Vivo wins as well. 100 watts wired or 50 watts wireless, whereas in a Samsung you've got 45 watts wired and 15 watts wireless. Yeah, it's a whitewash for Vivo when it comes to battery. The facts show it. Now, I mentioned chipsets because rarely in a flagship phone do you get 2 different flagship chips, but the Vivo has the MediaTek Dimensity chip and the Samsung has Qualcomm's Snapdragon Elite. Now, as I already mentioned, the S25 Ultra outperformed the S24 Ultra by close to an hour of screen on time. With the battery capacity staying the same, that can only be due to the amazing efficiency shown on the Elite chip. And for performance, the Elite chip still takes the biscuit in a lot of areas. But with the Vivo getting the best efficiency from its battery and the Oppo X8 Pro coming in second in Tom's battery drain test, I think it's clear to see that from a sheer efficiency perspective, MediaTek have smashed it out the park. To get nearly 13 hours screen on time from the Oppo X8 Pro is just, yeah, really, really impressive. And in terms of performance, your MediaTek is going to do everything you or I would want it to be able to do. All the gaming at 60 FPS you could imagine, you're covered. Now, later on in the video, we will obviously be comparing in true depth the cameras. I have got 3 or 4 minutes of edited, popped together footage near the end of the video that I think you're going to enjoy. So stay tuned for that. I do just want to cover many other areas, including the speakers on the device. Samsung have never been renowned for the best speakers. They've always been kind of on a par, whereas Vivos are pretty good. However, in my comparison, from my ears and hopefully what you'll be able to hear over this video, I think the Samsung might just edge the Vivo now. Have a listen.
Empty hearts and neon lights, they're playing with my mind. Gotta get out of here tonight. Oh, I wanna run off and fly. And I'll tell myself it's fine to be alone, just to find somewhere that finally feels like home.
And then we have to talk about the design, which is super subjective. Listen, you can argue with people till you're blue in the face that the X200 Pro looks better than the S25 Ultra. But ultimately, it's people's choice. I am a huge fan of a large centered camera ring. You all know that. I love that. The S25 Ultra at this stage is just dull. Worn out. We've had this since the S22 Ultra, technically really the S21 Ultra, I think, if not before. It just needs a refresh. However, some people like that waterfall, simple, less in-your-face design. And in terms of differences for both phones from their previous iterations, the edges are now completely squared off. The screens are basically completely flat. Yes, on the S25 Ultra, slight curve still on the X200 Pro. The corners are rounded, so you're going to protect your hands. And weight, very similar, just over 220 grams. Dimensions, again, super similar. However, this is where I want to talk displays, and this is where it's a whitewash for Samsung. While battery was a whitewash for Vivo, there is no debate that this is a complete win for Samsung. So first of all, you've got display size. It's 6.9 inches now because the bezels have been reduced. And as I hope you can see here, the S25 Ultra screen just looks bigger and better. And then there's the resolution. Another important aspect of display is how clear it is. While your naked eye can't always tell the difference unless you have phones side by side, like here, Quad HD Plus on the Samsung S25 Ultra and Full HD Plus on the Vivo. Again, both are great screens, both running 120Hz, but for resolution and size, it has to go to the Samsung. And the final reason this is a whitewash for Samsung, that anti-glare Gorilla Glass Armor 2 coating, whatever magic they're using, in direct key light, in direct sunlight, the Samsung rarely ever gives you glare, meaning you can read the 2500 nit screen in any brightness whatsoever with zero issues. Whereas the Vivo, like every other flagship phone, glass is glass and it's reflective. No, I know Jerry says glass is glass and it breaks, but it's also reflective. So yeah, Samsung have truly worked on the design of displays and improved it this year, I have to concede. And then, unfortunately for Vivo, we have to compare software. I'm not going to go too much into depth because Hallie's World and other channels that, if I remember, I'll link down below, they go into all the features and all the special editions you can do and the customization. I'm just not that guy. I like photos. I like to talk more about hardware. However, there's no denying, because the global version of the Vivo comes with Fun Touch, which isn't as good as the Chinese version, which is Origin OS, Samsung's One UI crushes Fun Touch OS. From customization to just general animation speeds, usability, the Good Lock app, the S Pen. No, it's not Bluetooth, but there's still an S Pen built into this phone, unlike on any other phone out there. The Samsung software just wins. Quick share and compatibility with Samsung DeX. I use a Tab S. Are we on to the test end? I use a Samsung S9 Ultra or S10 Ultra tablet. I think we're on 10 now. I lose track. But I've got the latest, biggest Samsung tablet, and it connects, mirrors my screen from the S25 Ultra. Ecosystem-wise, compatibility-wise, and usability-wise, the Samsung One UI 7 is just, yeah, superior. And there's Samsung Galaxy AI paired with Google Gemini AI. Now, the Vivo does have Google Gemini on it. And at some point there will have to be a cost attributed to that, I'm sure. But Samsung are the first manufacturer to come out and say, you're only getting this Gemini AI for free for the next 6 to 12 months, I believe it is. So I'm intrigued to know how much it's going to cost, subscription, monthly, to use AI features. And Will people pay it? Anyway, I'm intrigued. Bit of a tangent, but both have AI on board, Gemini AI. Samsung's Galaxy AI is slightly more convenient when it comes to your photo editor and finding photos, but to be honest, they both work really well. And just before I move on to price, I just want to finish off that still, I believe to this day, for whatever reason, the Samsung S25 Ultra is one of the only phones, flagship candy bar phones, to allow multitasking, split screen, 2 apps, up and down, vertical. I'm not sure why other manufacturers don't add this to their software UI, but yeah, Samsung do it and do it extremely well. So before the cameras, I do need to talk price because there are two very different prices here. Remember, this whole time I am talking about the Vivo X200 Pro Global Edition. You can get a Chinese version with, in my opinion, better software for cheaper. But the prices I am mentioning are just global. So the price for the Vivo X200 Pro Global, the cheapest I could find was on the Average Dad Tech Store. Not a plug, just facts. I have the cheapest X200 Pro Global, currently at £979, but I have extended the 3% off loyalty discount, so I think you can pick it up for under £950 if you're a channel member, or around £955 for everyone else. That makes it £400 cheaper than the S25 Ultra, because the global X200 Pro only comes in half a terabyte of storage. To get the equivalent S25 Ultra, it's £1,349 here in the UK. So £400 difference. Caveat, at most times of the year, there will be trade-in schemes for the Samsung. They might be giving away free buds. They might be doing double storage bonus offers. I am just going by the RRP. So don't shoot me down in the comments. I am just going by RRP. Finding trade-in deals and free gifts with the Vivo 200 Pro Global is, well, it's impossible. Now, there's a few other things that are completely the same here. UFS 4.0 storage, DDR5X RAM, both are 5G on all networks with all your major bands. Both have Android Auto, Google Pay, everything. They're full global phones. I just wanted to cover that because, as always, people will ask in the comments. And now we can get to my favourite section, the section that took hours to film, get snaps of, then edit in post, the camera section. What I thought was going to be a fairly straightforward, hardware goes to Vivo, software goes to Samsung when it comes to cameras, actually came together and was not true. Because on paper, while the Vivo does have slightly better sensors on a couple of those lenses, Samsung have upgraded their poorest lens from last year, the ultra wide, but they've kept that great wide angle lens with 200 megapixels, 50 megapixels or 12 megapixels, and it's a quad rear camera lens. And that's where the Samsung has some brownie points. Versatility. Now, I'm going to tell you all a real truth here, and this might hurt you a little bit. None of you are David Bailey. None of you can get the most out of your smartphone photo app. And I'm sorry, but that's okay, because I am one of those people too. I'm a point and shoot kind of guy. You're about to see the photos and videos I take. I think they're okay, but they're not in the standard of a professional. So for those that say, oh, it's just not good enough, they're not 1-inch sensors, or whatever you're about to comment about the Samsung camera or even the Vivo camera, just don't. Think about your use case scenario and think about where you are on the pecking order of being a professional photographer. Because both of these phones, along with the iPhone I took along with me just for shits and giggles, they are unbelievable when it comes to photos and videos. Like, truly easy to use. The Samsung is easier to use from an app and user perspective. The Vivo has more pro features, I think, But they both have photographic styles that I do use, and they both have all the focal lengths that I would typically use. So all these photos are going from ultra wide all the way up to max zoom. There's a couple of 200 megapixel shots in there from Samsung, something that Vivo doesn't offer. There's 8K video recording on both phones, but for those video editors out there, the Samsung now has 8K log. I mean, I don't know what 0.0% of the population will use it, but at least they've included it for those few people that will. The one thing I was disappointed to see, and again, maybe it could just be me, someone can correct me in the comments, the Vivo will do 120 frames per second at 4K, the Samsung will only go up to 60 frames per second. But when you're in different megapixel modes, so the 200 megapixels will let you do like wide, and that's basically it. 50 megapixels will let you do a wide, ultra wide, and 5 times optical zoom photo. And then it's only when you get to the 12 megapixel photos that you can use the full range all the way up to max 100x zoom. So with all that being said, I'm going to let you bathe in all these photos and videos for the next few minutes, and you can let me know in the comments which ones you prefer. So we might as well test out some selfie video on both phones. On this one we have the Vivo X200 Pro, and this one we have the Samsung. How are the mics? How is the exposure? Samsung looks a little brighter, if a little blown out. On the screen anyway, Vivo seems a little more true to life in colour. Yeah. What do we think? Can we go wider on either of these phones? Give me a second. Nope, can't seem to change the width, so neither are super ultra wide. On the screen I would definitely say that the more natural looking is the Vivo, but yeah, Samsung, let's see in post. What's up folks, you'll have to apologise. The S25 Ultra's formats and the 8K and all the other stuff, I don't know what's going on, but it wouldn't render in my Final Cut Pro. Fucking annoying, I've tried about 10 times. So I've had to remove all the video footage, so there's really just photos to compare. I know, it sucks, I'll sort it for next time. Never had this happen before, so thank you Samsung. Guess it's just them getting me back, I suppose. Yeah, but hopefully you enjoyed all the photos and all that other stuff. Back to the video. So, as mentioned, leave your comment. Do you prefer the Vivo or the Samsung? But also think to yourself, aren't both incredible? Could you get by with either phone? Of course you could. So, ultimately, my verdict. Which one is my SIM card staying in, and which one will be my daily driver, meaning that I will be selling the other one. Well, for at least the next few weeks, the phone that will have my SIM card and be taken to China as my daily driver when I go on a work trip, it's a Samsung. And no, I bet a lot of you didn't expect that.
No! God, please, no! 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 No!
The Samsung offers everything I need in a reliable phone. It's durable, it's got a huge screen, the battery is 10 hours, that's perfect. I was slightly worried because I'd been using the X200 Pro that the battery would be poor in the Samsung, but clearly Tom's test showed us it wasn't. The performance is obviously top tier, the software is amazing, and I really, really like the design and look of this phone. So yeah, I feel because I got mine at a very good price. Remember, if you didn't watch yesterday's video, I managed to get my S25 Ultra sealed in box for £750 due to a member's very nice employee discount. If you're having to pay the full £1,250 or more for more storage, maybe then the X200 Pro is the one you should go for. But either phone, and a shout out to Oppo, the Oppo X8 Pro continually on camera tests, on battery tests, always seems to find its way into the top 3 or 2. So well done Oppo. As I said multiple times, and I said it in this video earlier, we're absolutely spoilt for choice when it comes to phones these days. So let's just hope this continues throughout 2025. If you are new to the channel, I do videos like this all the time. I do long form videos like this every Sunday night with some other ones sprinkled throughout the week. And very, very soon I will have the Oppo X8 Ultra, the Oppo Find N5, and many, many more flagships to review and compare. So if you haven't already, smash subscribe. And as I briefly mentioned, I do own my own tech store where I sell every flagship phone out there from any market. Average Dad Tech Store, you can check it out. And also, we do have a new store Instagram, averagedad_tech. Check that out and give us a follow if you can. Let me know if you enjoyed this video. Was this a good Versus? Was it worth all my time? I really hope so. I appreciate you all very, very much. Have a nice Sunday evening. And until next time.